This is a 2007 Toyota Yaris, 106 horsepower. I bought it used from a guy in 2008 with only about 10,000 miles on it. Yaris stems from a goddess in Greek mythology named Charis, and Charis really means grace, beauty, and elegance. Nothing is better for me to pick up my friend Pastor Otis Brown in, because Otis is the embodiment of grace and elegance. He's the lead pastor of Holly Park Community Church. He's become a good friend these past months because he's been on staff with us over the summer, and I've grown to appreciate his passion for his calling, his depth of commitment to Christ, and his fiery preaching style. Hello? Hey Otis, it's Richard.
Hey Richard, how you doing, man?
You got some time for coffee?
Man, I would love to go get some coffee.
I'm almost there. I'll pick you up soon.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing you.
I'm Richard Dahlstrom, and this is Pastors in Cars Getting Coffee. Otis!
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh man, is this the Yaris?
Yeah. Get ready for the ride of your life. Few people even fit in it. Few are still driving it. So you're going to be part of an exclusive club.
Man, it is beautiful.
Let's get some coffee.
Let's roll.
People talk about, one big SUVs and stuff like that. And I'm like this, why would you want an SUV when you can have all the safety of a Yaris and 40 miles to the gallon?
You can't beat that.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Have you ever took it anywhere?
Yeah. Oh man, I've had some sweet road trips to places like, Billingham, Olympia. There's no energy wasted on stuff like Bluetooth and cell phone plug-ins or anything like that. It's got AM.
Okay.
It's got AM.
You got some options there.
Like, what else do you need? Hey, great to see your office. Great to see the church. Great to see what's going on there. But tell me a little bit about your call to ministry, man. How did that exactly happen?
Wow. Yeah, what happened was, I was raised in the church, Richard, and I kind of went my own way. Didn't want to the Lord, and then later on in life, he got my attention, and I came to him. I got sick and had a situation where I came to the Lord, and I was like, all right, Lord, I'll live for you.
Yeah.
Still at that.
You were sick.
Exactly, yeah. I was sick almost to death.
Oh,
but
man.
at that point, I still didn't have a desire to be in the ministry. I just was trying to answer the Lord's call to come to him. My father's a preacher, grandma.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, hey, one more question I got to ask you. Did you grow up in this area?
Yes, I grew up in the Rainier Valley area.
Oh, you did?
Not too far from Holly Park.
So your parents as well and your grandparents?
Exactly.
How far back do you go in this area?
Well, I came in 71, and my parents have been here a lot longer before that. So
okay, yeah.
I'm new to this area.
So you got Northwest roots, you got Seattle roots, okay,
Yes.
And your dad was a preacher?
Yes, he is, and he still is.
And he still is?
Still preaching, yes.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
I didn't want anything to do with it at first. I thought, hey, look, I just wanted to come back to the Lord.
Man, I think my youngest daughter's a little bit scarred because I would often, in the 90s, I'd go out and speak at other churches.
Wow.
And so one time I went and spoke at a church about, I'm going to say 20 miles from our house or so. And I took her with me, and then I dropped her off in Sunday school.
Okay.
And how after you're done preaching, sometimes everybody wants to talk to you?
Yeah, I know.
So there's a bunch of people talking to me, and I'm sticking around. It's an hour, after service ends, and then I'm just kind of wiped out. Last person leaves, and I go, okay, see ya. And then I left.
Wow.
And I left her at the church without taking her home.
Left your daughter, wow.
So meanwhile, the Sunday school teacher calls my wife. So when I get home, my wife goes, hey, where's Holly? And I thought, are you kidding me? I left my own daughter at church.
Wow, at the church.
At the church. Well, how did you end up then at Holly Park Church in particular?
Wow. Now, and I told you my dad was a pastor, and then he told me when I came to the Lord, he was like, hey, there's a church if you want to
No way.
go to. And then, so I end up going and I meet this pastor, Pastor Phillips. He was really an inspiration in my life. And I had no idea what was going to be going on. He had been pastoring there for over 36 years. And so I just came to the church and was faithful and was being mentored by him. And next thing I know, he was like, hey, I'm retiring.
Oh man.
We're thinking
no way.
They're gonna need another pastor soon. So the Lord just opened up one door after another one, and that's.
And how long ago was that?
Wow, I came to Holly Park in 2010, I believe.
Okay.
So and it's so we've been there for about 8 years.
Sounds like 8 years.
Yes, and I've been pastor for close to 2.
I don't think everybody knows how you ended up partnering with us, or we ended up partnering with you. So let's tell me a little bit about how that happened.
Well, it was a real unique situation about how it happened. I met with a pastor, and his name is Roy Chang, and he let me know that he was the type of person that connects churches with each other so we can support schools. So we decided to see if we can support Martin Luther King School,
which is right near you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then that's how I met Phil Molding, congregational pastor, and we began to have some meetings and began to talk. And he pursued me. I mean, he was just saying, "Hey, we want to help you. We want to be able to bless you in your community. We want to help you reach your own people." So it was amazing how we did that. So after that, we went out a few times, began to talk, and got to know each other. Wow, we came pretty close. We talked all the time. And then earlier this year, I was playing around on the hoverboard and hurt my shoulder, fell off my kids. I was still thinking I was younger than I was, Rich. You know how that be sometimes.
The hoverboard.
Yeah, the good old
That's
hoverboard.
hysterical.
Had to get shoulder surgery, and Phil came to me. He knew I wasn't working, my regular job.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, you can come be on staff at Bethany for the summertime."
Which is perfect,
It's just been open. The Lord's been opening one door after another, and that's how I came to Bethany to be the staff.
That's amazing.
And I've been blessed because of it. I really have.
That's amazing. Bottom line. That's all we need to know.
Being here this summer at Bethany for me has really been quite a learning experience. I feel like I'm just in school.
Thanks a bunch. Delightful.
Yes, looks good. I mean, just how Bethany operates with such efficiency and
if you only knew.
Yeah, well, it looks like it to me. Yes,
Yeah.
I see the organization, so I've been really enjoying that learning process.
Yeah. Hey, so tell me a little bit about how it's been being basically more or less on staff, because you've been with us in the evening services.
Yes, so I've seen how it works out and plays out, and like I said, I'll start out with just how it's similar. Me being at Bethany and being under the teaching and so many different teachers and seeing the heart of the people, I've learned that they all love Christ just like we do. There's a passion, there's a unity about the teaching of Christ that puts us all on the same level, and we love Christ and we love his teaching. And with that being said, I believe how we love and express our love to Christ, that's why I've seen a vast difference. How we express our worship and how we preach and how we teach and those type of things.
I've heard you preach, man. You are on fire.
Well, thank you.
It's unbelievable.
Thank you for that. Well, I've heard you preach, and I'm really moved and touched by it, how you bring the word of the Lord.
And it's totally different.
It is.
Both ways. And the worship's different.
It is.
The singing's different.
Yes.
And so we have these two different cultural expressions. You guys in your African American setting, us in a predominantly white setting.
Right.
And the reality is, your neighborhood is becoming more and more white, and our desire at Bethany is to reach a racially diverse population that lives right around us.
Wow.
So I think both of us can learn from each other here. How can we help each other in both of those problems? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yes, I believe, Richard, that, what you're saying, our neighborhood is becoming more and more predominantly white. I believe that God has placed us together for this season, for this time. I don't think this is an accident or something we just decided to do.
It's amazing how the partnership came about.
Yes.
So God is in it. That's right.
Yes. So I believe that God has sent you into our lives to help us with this situation so that we can be more multi-ethnic. We can appeal to a people that would not just be one-dimensional, but feel comfortable when they walk in Holly Park.
And if you were to give a word to Bethany, what we need to do to help expand our reach so that we are able to be as diverse as our neighborhood, what would your word be to us?
I would say to Bethany, I mean, first of all, I've seen how you have reached your neighborhood already, and it looks like you're doing quite an excellent job. But the next level of it, what I would be saying is, as you are bringing more diverse leaders into your camp. I see that you have some Asian influence, some Korean influence, and your influence is just not in the background. I believe that is great wisdom on the part of Bethany. I see many leaders here that preach and teach. I think that is going to open up the doors to Seattle so that when they come to Bethany, they're not just getting one culture. Right. You are saying, no, we are accepting and inviting every tongue, tribe, and nation to come worship with us. And you may come on any given Sunday and see a nation that reflects where you were and your native.
Right. So, well, that's our vision. And it's very hard because not only is there a racial diversity, there's a socio-ecological or socioeconomic diversity that I think is super challenging, because there are people who are living right around here where we're eating now, who are really struggling economically, working multiple jobs or coming out of abusive relationships and that kind of thing. And then there's people with a great deal of wealth. And when I'm preaching, often I'm trying to challenge the wealthy people to say, what are you doing with all your free time and money?
Wow. And
I go, how does that ring to somebody who's just barely getting by? Wow. Do you know?
Yeah.
Similar challenges in your own setting, a whole economic diversity as well?
Yes. Now, as far as the economically, I don't believe our diversity is quite as different. You know, we're a good, solid middle class there. You know, there may be some that kind of sneak into the higher level there. So that's not a big of an issue to try and work that out. But one issue that we are trying to work on, we've had a homeless camp move right into the neighborhood of our church. Okay. You know, so we, in that sense, that makes us rich.
Totally.
So we still can have the same
issue. Then.
It's the same issue.
Absolutely.
The numbers may be slightly different, but the concept, principle is the same. So how do we deal with people that don't have access to what we have?
They don't even have shelter.
Exactly. The same privileges. And I think that with the mindset of Christ and with that's what in our culture we're rich in thanksgiving. When you see a culture that's rich in thanksgiving, that is saying we know that everything we have comes from the Lord.
That's right.
And if we are mindful of that, it would be easier to reach out to the homeless and to the who don't have. I understand that Bethany has a great breakfast and a great home, your food bank. I see how you work that in. Even you have a shelter downstairs.
We're trying to do stuff.
Even though there may be some differences, you know, in income levels, I think that you guys are addressing it quite well.
We really desperately want to cross any social divide, race and socioeconomic divides and education divides, because the kingdom is not made up of a group of people that all look the same or make the same amount of money or have the same education. It's across the board, you know? And I think we can do that if we don't view ourselves as swooping in to help, but view ourselves as, hey, I've got a ton to learn, you've got a ton to learn. Paul says in Romans 1, I want to impart a gift and I want to receive a gift. And so often in our culture it's hierarchical. Do you know what I mean? Like a group says, we are the givers of the gifts.
Wow.
And these people are the receivers. No, everyone's a giver and everyone's a receiver. And what that does is it levels us. So that I just got to say, man, having you on staff, having you in our teaching team meetings has been incredible, because the things that I've learned from your insights, seeing the text through a different cultural lens, right, has enriched my own preaching, you know? And my hope, of course, would be that my lens enriches yours. And then it becomes mutuality.
Yes. When I got close to Phil, he said, we want to help you reach Martin Luther King, a school that is close to you. But you guys had enough wisdom to say, we don't want to go down there and say, we're Bethany, we're here, we're just going to help you with your children. He said, we're going to send you into your own culture, into your own community. We're here to support you, and you have done exactly just that. And we appreciate that, because I sense that's humility coming from Bethany. I mean, it's easy just to say, I'm the big guy, we're going to do it this way. No, we're going to come alongside of you and help you reach.
No one's going to reach your community better than you.
That's good.
And so if we can support that in any way, that's what we want to do. But we can't tell you how to do it. You have to do it.
Yes, it's true. It's true, and we thank you for the help.
So how was it? Are you full?
Yes, they
I thought it was
got great food here. I can see why we like to hang out here.
Yeah, man.
Really good.
Hey, the question I have for you has to do with this book, One Blood by John Perkins. Have you heard of it?
Yes, awesome
Perkins
book.
says that before you can rebuild the walls, there has to be lament, confession, and forgiveness.
Yes.
And you can't rebuild the walls until you have done those things. I really would like to unpack all of those, right? Do you have a little more time or not?
Yes, I would love to talk about that with you.